A Wyoming legislator is looking to eliminate gun-free zones in the Cowboy state. Parents and children in a Cheyenne neighborhood are dealing with nightmares after a water main break flooded their houses. And horses that fell into an iced-over pond are rescued in Campbell County. We'll take a look at these stories and more today from Wyoming's largest news organization. I'm Wendy Kaur for Cowboy State Daily. Calling it absolutely ludicrous that Wyoming has gun-free zones, Wheatland Representative Jeremy Haroldson will introduce legislation to eliminate them. Cowboy State Daily's Mark Hines reports that Haroldson's bill would still not allow private citizens to carry concealed firearms on the grounds of schools or correctional facilities.
The overarching rule is it's what they call constitutional carry, which means you can carry a firearm openly or concealed anywhere without a permit, but institutions like the University of Wyoming or businesses or some government buildings still retain the right on their property to declare a gun-free zone. So it's kind of like a confluence, and one might even say a little bit of friction between the Second Amendment and private property rights.
Cheyenne children and parents flooded out by a broken water main on Darnell Place continue to suffer vivid nightmares, even as they struggle with the real-life nightmare of how to save their waterlogged homes. Cowboy State Daily's Renee Jean reports that residents are wrestling with the aftermath of the Cahill Park flooding that has caused between $30,000 to $80,000 worth of damage for some homeowners.
Rosie, Roka's oldest son, he woke up with a nightmare. The other mom told me that she's looking at counseling for her son because PTSD is not uncommon in these types of situations. You know, the safest place we all have on the planet when we're kids is our homes. And when all that water came in, that illusion was shattered for these kids.
Residents are also questioning the city's response to the water main burst, which took workers between 4 and 5 hours to turn off. A rush to open uranium mines in Wyoming has a Canadian company looking across the KC countryside for deposits that could access millions of pounds of uranium. Cowboy State Daily's Pat Mayo reports that the Canadian-based Nuclear Fuels Company has identified substantial uranium deposits in the coal-rich Powder River Basin as the state and nation rush to roll out new nuclear plants.
And they've kind of identified about 2 million pounds of deposit in uranium that they could mine, but they want to get to 15 million through more drilling and testing and things of that sort, which they hope to do, next several months or so. What this company is seeing, Nuclear Fuels, is what many other uranium producers are also seeing is, the market's going crazy. The prices are over $100, historic levels.
The drilling is the first step in a long process to bring uranium mining to the point of production, which could optimistically happen at the KC site before 2030. I'll be back with more news right after this.
Three Crown Petroleum is a private oil and gas company that drills oil wells in Wyoming, adjacent states, and internationally. Three Crown is actively looking to lease minerals for drilling or to buy minerals, royalty, or existing production within Wyoming. To learn more about Three Crown, call or text Howard Cooper at 970-756-4747. Again, call or text Howard Cooper at Three Crown Petroleum, 970-756-4747.
Wyoming Representative Harriet Hagman said she'll vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for massive failure along the U.S. border with Mexico. Cowboy State Daily's Leah Wolfson reports that in her opinion, Mayorkas has been more loyal to Biden than the Constitution.
Hagman has been a longtime vocal critic of Mayorkas. The article of impeachment relate to Mayorkas' handling of the southern border and immigration there. In the past, she's called him a liar and a tyrant. It's no surprise that she would vote to impeach Mayorkas.
Since Biden has taken office, illegal crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border have increased, setting all-time records in fiscal years 2022 and 23. And the Campbell County Fire Department rescued 2 horses stuck neck-deep in a frozen pond near Gillette Tuesday in a frantic yet controlled effort, which ultimately had a heartwarming ending, according to Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi.
They had wandered out into a pond lake area and collapsed through the thin ice in the middle. They didn't know how long they had been there, so you want to get them out as fast as possible. So they figured the best thing to do was to find the quickest way to shore, and they used chainsaws to cut a pathway into the ice, and the horses were already itching to get out of there. Can't imagine why. And once the path was clear, they just got out, and they were both perfectly fine. So that was a successful animal ice rescue.
And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the subscribe button on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Kaur for Cowboy State Daily.